Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Woodmere Estate Revival. I'm down at the house this evening doing some cleanup. Amber was down here today. She was pulling nails, pulling the last little bits of sheetrock off the wall, getting the kitchen cleaned up. And now I've got to get the vacuum cleaner out, the shop vac, and suck the cobwebs out of the joist and stud bays in the dining room. I'm tearing the floor out in the dining room right now, and Amber reminded me this evening that it's going to make it pretty difficult to vacuum out all the crud between the joist and the studs there if I've got the floor torn out. So before I tear any more out this evening, I'm going to go ahead and fix that up. And then she picked up a sack of the pigtail light sockets for me at Lowe's, and I'm going to be using those in areas around the house where we've taken light fixtures down just to get a little bit more light in the area. They're great for construction use, temporary lighting. So I'll be putting some of those up in areas where we've taken lights down. For instance, over in the laundry room, there used to be a fluorescent fixture there. We've taken that down to get the ceiling out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one of those temporary lights up there just to give us a little bit more light to work with. We're doing a lot of this in the evening, and it's still pretty dark down here after work. So that's going to be the best way that we can get some of this existing lighting up out of the way, some of these can lights that have kind of fallen down out of the ceiling, and put lights in places where we don't currently have a fixture wired up. So I'm going to get started on some of that. Hang out with me here this evening and see what kind of things we can get into.
The good news is it's coming up easy. Bad news is might get down the crawl space here in a second. Unexpectedly. Oh, daggone. Well, getting hit the face with rotten wood. Come on. That's awesome.
Well, there you have it, folks. Another episode of Woodmere Estate Revival in the books. It's been a long night. I've been working on all sorts of stuff. I was trying to tidy up some of the electrical stuff in the kitchen and family room first. We had a bunch of can lights hanging down, some of them on the floor from where Amber tore the ceiling out the other day. A lot of those lights evidently were renovation lights and they were just secured with the drywall. So those things were hanging all over the place and hitting people in the head, myself included. So I went ahead and put all those back up into the ceiling there and just secured them with some nails. We're eventually going to cut all those out and redo all the electrical up there, but at least we got them off the floor and up out of the way so people won't trip over them. And then there was a few places where we'd taken down some lights. The chandelier that was in the kitchenette there above the kitchen table was a place. Over in the laundry room was another one. And so in those areas, we needed some more lights. I went ahead and used some pigtail sockets and hooked those up. That way we got some more light in those spots, and it's really helped to kind of brighten things up so we can actually see what we're doing in here again. Also used the vacuum, the shop vac, to vacuum out all of the floor joist cavities up above the dining room before I ripped out the rest of the dining room floor. The spiders had really taken over this place, and they were all up in the joist cavities and the studs and everywhere. So we wanted to clean all that stuff out before we put sheetrock back up in there, just to you know, make it neat and tidy before we, just instead of stealing that stuff up inside the wall again. So got all that done, and then took out another, I'd say, quarter or a little more of the dining room floor, and it was just as fun as yesterday with all the rotten wood and the floor joists giving way and everything else. So it's been a great night. Let me show you what all I got done here. So you can see now the lights here in the family room and over in the kitchen are all back up in the ceiling again. And I just tucked them up out of the way and used some nails to hold them there. Then I hardwired some sockets in different places just to get a little bit more light in here so we can see until we get everything completed. Here's another one I put in the old laundry here. So just getting some more light, that way we can see what we're doing and don't trip over something and fall in the hole. And here you can see what I got accomplished on the floor tonight. I got this section out and kind of got a routine down now where I'll use the circular saw with a demolition blade on it and just cut a swath across the floor, going through both layers of subfloor and going up in between the joists, and then coming back through and using a crowbar and a sledgehammer just to pop everything loose. So as you can see, the joists back here are pretty nasty. And again, this was the section of the floor that was just soaked with water from that upstairs bathroom. So I'm not surprised at all at the condition of the floor joist. And we were anticipating having to replace most of these anyway. So again, no big surprises, but just good to get this old nasty stuff up out of here, because we're going to be able to start construction hopefully here in a couple of weeks. And the framing crew, if we didn't do all this demolition, they would have had to do that first. So not only are we saving a lot of money by doing it ourselves, but we're also saving a lot of time, because now we're getting to the point where we can actually get construction started. Everything is lining up, and you know, we're way ahead of the game because we've got all this demolition done. Plus you get a great sense of satisfaction doing a lot of this work yourself. So again, another busy night, lots accomplished. Hope you guys will keep tuning back in for updates. We got a big weekend coming up. Tomorrow's Friday, going to work, and then going to try to take it easy tomorrow evening, and then Saturday we're going to get down here and hit it hard. My dad's going to come over. The kids are going to stay with Amber's mom and dad, so we're going to have the whole weekend to be able to just really get hard after it here, try to get the last of these floors out and get everything cleaned up, because we've got our meeting with our subcontractors next week. So we got to get this place completely cleaned out and everything neat and tidy before those guys come in here for our pre-bid meeting. Thanks again for tuning in this evening, and be sure to tune back in this weekend and catch up on the latest from Woodmere State Revival. Thank you.